On the news around the world tonight, reps condemn xenophobic attacks on Nigerians in South Africa. Oyo government reaffirms high premium on state security. "26 killed in Chinese factory explosion." Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news around the world. I am Josephine Uluwabumi, and on the sign language corner is Shakirat Ogundeji. The House of Representatives on Tuesday condemned the latest wave of xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa, calling on the federal government to take immediate diplomatic and protective measures. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Donald Ojogo, APC Ondo, and seconded by Billy Osawaru, APC Edo, during the plenary presided over by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. Lawmakers urged the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to immediately initiate diplomatic steps to halt the killings, while also calling on the administration of Bola Tinubu to begin evacuation plans for Nigerians willing to leave South Africa. In addition, the House recommended a review of bilateral relations between both countries, including a temporary suspension of business permits for South African companies operating in Nigeria. The fresh xenophobic violence currently ravaging South Africa has reached an alarming rate to the extent that the Nigerian nationals in that country are being selectively targeted. Meanwhile, stakeholders say evacuating foreigners from South Africa may not provide a lasting solution to the recurring xenophobic attacks. They are instead calling for sustained diplomatic engagement and coordinated pressure through the African Union and other international platforms to ensure the protection of foreign nationals. In this report, correspondent Olamide Owolabi examines the impact of the attacks on Nigerians and other Africans.
Violence has erupted in South Africa, with foreign nationals, particularly Africans, once again becoming targets of hostility. The attacks driven by anti-immigration protests have seen groups demand the removal of non-citizens, describing their actions as efforts to reclaim their country. Reports indicate incidents of intimidation, harassment, and forced eviction of foreigners from homes, businesses, schools, and even healthcare facilities. The development has triggered concern across the continent, with countries such as Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Ghana initiating diplomatic engagements with South African authorities to safeguard their citizens. Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, says about 130 Nigerians have so far registered for evacuation following the latest attacks. Speaking on the situation, a former South Africa resident, Ayoke, attributes the violence to economic hardship and inequality. It notes that frustration among locals is often directed at foreigners perceived to be more economically successful, adding that tackling unemployment and improving access to education could help ease tensions.
If you look at their history, the whites have been their master over the years, and I think that thing has not gotten out of their psyche. They see them as different people. But when a black man comes, this is a black man like me now. How can you be driving a BMW when I'm driving a bicycle? I can understand a white man living that life. You as a black man, how come? So I think that's a major reason why they can't understand the disparity in results. That's what I think. Okay, there's another thing I should also say that makes us, especially my brothers in Nigeria, we don't know how to live life low profile once we have some money or we have some means. A lot of us are loud, that's another thing, and we're doing it in the faces of those people. In fact, for this particular one, I think it was misconstrued what was happening when some people in East London were coronating in quotes an Igwe. So they felt, so you're also a king here in South Africa. No, we're suffering, and these people come around, they even want to take over our land. And when they hear land in South Africa, they protest like, the rate at which they protest is just like it is in their blood. Before you know it, they are out and they are touristos. So immediately they saw that some people are coronating a king, and those folks were not coronating a king. They said, how can you be a king in South Africa? So that was what started this set of xenophobic attacks.
In a similar vein, security expert Dr. Shola Ishola condemns the attacks, stressing that African nations once supported South Africa during the apartheid era and deserve mutual respect. He warns that continued violence could strain diplomatic relations and negatively impact South Africa's economic interests across the continent, urging authorities to take decisive action.
There are implications because, one, it will negatively affect African solidarity. The kind of support that Africans are giving to South Africa is going to be diminished. And South Africans also have investments in other African countries. There are citizens of South Africa also in other African countries. If the principle of reciprocity is to be exerted on them, it will not be good on South Africans at all. And I think their leaders have a lot to do with this. Their leaders should find a way of curbing their citizens from, humiliating and exerting violence on other African countries. Otherwise, African countries will also begin to reciprocate by exerting diplomatic pressure on South Africa if their governments are reluctant to do anything to curb their citizens.
Both analysts describe the situation as a wake-up call for Nigeria to strengthen its economy and create more opportunities for its citizens, thereby reducing the pressure to migrate in search for better prospects. The renewed attacks have once again raised critical questions about African unity and safety of migrants within the continent. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
President Tinubu has written to the Senate seeking the screening and subsequent confirmation of Joseph Tegbe as Minister of Federal Republic of Nigeria. The letter was read today by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Akpabio, who assured the President that his request would receive immediate action, referred the communication to the Committee of the Whole for immediate action. Mr. Tegbe from Oyo State is a fiscal and economic reform expert with over 35 years of experience spanning the public and private sectors. The nomination was announced after Adebayo Adelabu resigned as Minister of Power to pursue his governorship ambition in Oyo State. We shall now take a short commercial break. Please stay with us.
Àmọ́ èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí abiyamọ mo rí ìpèníjà fún ọmọ mi nítorí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe máa ń fún ní Bonvita mo lójoojúmọ́. Bonvita ń fún wọn ní agbára láti máa yege lójoojúmọ́.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pulp extract. For visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, for your shade of beautiful.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
Ní ìgbà kan rí, ilẹ̀ kan wà tí kò ní adùn mọ́. Oúnjẹ ti pàdánù adùn rẹ̀, kò sì sí ohun tí a lè tún fi gbádùn mọ́. Ní ìgbà náà ni Taste Maker yọdé láti dá adùn padà sí ilẹ̀ àìládùn yìí. Gbogbo ohun tí ó ṣe ni ó wọ́n, ó rò ó sì bù ú. Láti ìgbà náà lọ, wọ́n mọ òtítọ́ kan. Gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n nílò ni wíwọ́n, rírò àti bíbù.
Taste Maker.
You're welcome back. The Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, has ordered an immediate nationwide audit of arms and ammunition across all state commands. This is part of efforts to strengthen accountability and prevent misuse of operational assets. The move comes after a viral video showed officers shooting a restrained and handcuffed man at close range after a suspicious package was found. Following the outcry over the video, 4 Nigerian police officers led by ASP Noor Usman were dismissed from the service, and their case files were transmitted to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Speaking during a meeting with senior officers in Abuja on Tuesday, DSU mandated commissioners of police to conduct a comprehensive, transparent, and properly documented stock-taking exercise with detailed reports to be submitted to the force headquarters within a stipulated time frame. Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde has reiterated his administration's commitment to prioritizing security as a foundation for governance and economic development. The governor stated this during a dinner organized in honor of members of Syndicate 5 of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 19 from the National Institute of Security Studies, NISS, who were in the state on a study tour. Governor's Office correspondent Olalekan Sulaiman presents details of the event held at the Local Government Training School Hall, Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan.
A dinner organized by the Oyo State government in honor of members of Syndicate 5 of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 19 of the National Institute of Security Studies, NISS, who are in the state on a study tour, provided an opportunity for the participants to gain deeper insight into the culture and people of the state. In his address, the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, represented by the secretary to the state government, Professor Musiba Babatunde, said that the state government places high premium on security, noting that a safe environment is essential for effective governance and socio-economic activities. He stressed that without adequate security, normal activities will be disrupted as people will be forced to seek safety rather than engage in productive ventures. The governor also expressed confidence that the participants of the study tour had gained valuable insight and will foster future collaboration with the state, particularly in applying and sharing knowledge acquired during their visit.
I believe the fact that you've been able to learn new things about Oyo State, get exposed to new things about Oyo State, and I believe the fact that you'll be able to collaborate with us in the future when needs arise for you to be able to use and share those knowledge appropriately with us.
In his remarks, a representative of the visiting delegation, Julius Obuko, commended the Oyo State government for its openness and structured approach to governance, noting that their study tour to the state was both productive and memorable. The delegation also lauded the hospitality of the people of Oyo State, stating that the warmth and friendliness encountered during their stay made the visit truly memorable.
For the moment we arrived, it was evident that this visit would be both productive and memorable. The access granted to key institutions, the openness of the officials, and the well-coordinated engagement provided us with valuable insight into the governance, security architecture, and development initiatives within the states. These experiences have significantly enriched our understanding and have contributed immensely to our studies.
In their various goodwill messages, the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, represented by Oba Akim Adewoyin, the Executive Assistant to Governor Seyi Makinde on Security Coordination, Major General Lukman Omaniyi, retired, noted that Governor Seyi Makinde has consistently placed a premium on security and intellectual development, while the chairman of the Akinyele local government, Akinwole Akinleye, commended the NISS team for their visit, describing the engagement as an eye-opening experience for officials at local government level. In attendance, while the head of service, Mrs. Olubunmi Oni, Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Akinfunmilayo Williams, the Asheyin of Iseyin, Oba Sefiu Oyebola, state service chiefs, political appointees, among whom was the chairman of BCOS, Chief Mrs. Dotun Olaitan. Iroyin Lekun Rere, BCOS News.
Another time out, please don't go away.
But why? No, see, say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Super Malt Multivitamin Active Teens. Super Malt Multivitamin Active Teens. Shine on.
Thanks for being there. The governor for your state, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has reaffirmed his administration's unwavering commitments to promoting culture and tourism as a means of strengthening and expanding the state's economic value chain. Governor Makinde made this known at the grand finale of the 2026 World Egungun Festival held at the Obafemi Awolowo Liberty Stadium, Okeado, Ibadan.
The Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Ibadan, was a hub of activities as dignitaries, diplomats, and traditional rulers converged on the venue for the 2026 World Egungun Festival. The festival featured vibrant display by masquerades from across Nigeria and beyond, highlighting the rich cultural heritage and global appeal of the Egungun tradition. In his address, the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, who was represented by the secretary to the state government, Professor Musiba Babatunde, noted that culture and tourism remain key drivers in expanding the state economy and boosting revenue generation under the Omitutu 2.0 roadmap to sustainable development 2023-2027. He further emphasized that Egungun Festival is a significant cultural heritage that has been largely underrated due to the beliefs held by some individuals.
If you look at Oyo State, under our economic expansion pillar, culture and tourism is one of the fundamental factors that we are trying to use to expand our economy, because we understand the importance of the multiplier effects of what this can actually bring to our economy.
In his royal remarks, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, who was represented by the Ashimpa of Ibadan land, Oba Hamidu Ajibade, commended the administration of Seyi Makinde for promoting and showcasing the state's rich culture, traditions, and customs. He also used the occasion to caution Mogajis and Bales to desist from unruly behavior and to maintain peace within their respective domains. In his goodwill message, the Deputy Head of Mission, British Deputy High Commission Lagos, Mr. Simon Field, lauded Governor Makinde's uncommon leadership and initiative in promoting culture and tourism in the state. In his welcome address, the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, appreciated Governor Seyi Makinde for his unwavering commitment and support for the promotion of tradition, customs, and for the opportunity to showcase cultural values and heritage of the state since the inception of his administration.
World Egungun Festival will continue. World Egungun Festival, a máa ṣe lọ títí láíláí ni pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ gbogbo wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbé àṣà yìí lárugẹ. Èròǹgbà mi ni wípé ìgbà tá a bá fi ṣe ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹwàá, àjọ àgbáyé UNESCO ló ti gbà lọ́wọ́ wa.
He hinted that the plans are underway to enlist the Egungun Festival as an intangible in the UNESCO activities for recognition around the world to boost and expand the economy of the state. Iroyin Lekun BCOS News.
The Oyo State government has stressed the importance of enforcing daily environmental sanitation across the state rather than relying on weekly or monthly exercises. The State Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Honorable Ademola Aderito, made this known during a press conference marking its first 100 days in office. Other activities of the event was an orientation program held for re-engaged environmental vanguards, and the State Governor's Office. The State Governor's Office correspondent Iroyin Lekun Rere was present, and he reports.
Addressing a press conference commemorating his 100 days in office, the Oyo State Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Engineer Ademola Aderito, reaffirmed the government's commitment to enforcing environmental sanitation measures to ensure a cleaner and healthier state. He highlighted some key achievements within his first 100 days in office, including the launch of a whistleblower initiative to report environmental violations, the procurement of waste management equipment, such as bins and 2 compactors, and intensified effort to curb open defecation and regulate chakora production.
We take the beautification and cleanliness of the city and the state very seriously. Within the 100 days, we are not doing everyday environmental sanitation. We expect the people to do everyday environmental sanitation, and we have also backed it up by everyday environmental sanitation monitoring and enforcement.
Earlier, the ministry organized a one-day orientation program for re-engaged environmental vanguards at its premises. In his address, Engineer Aderito disclosed that the state government re-engaged 390 adult workers, comprising environmental vanguards, sweepers, and packers, to strengthen environmental sanitation efforts. He charged the workers to remain dedicated and committed to their duties, stressing the need for the state to derive maximum value from their engagement.
This administration led by His Excellency is not just thinking about governance, it's thinking about the best of governance to the people.
In his remarks, the Executive Secretary of the Oyo State Health Insurance Agency, OISHA, Dr. Shola Akade, assured workers of access to healthcare services, noting that they will be enrolled in a free health insurance scheme with full benefits provided by the state government.
A fi pẹ̀lú ìyọ̀ǹda wọn, a ṣèpàdé kan. Ṣé rí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń bí pátápátá láàfin sórí ètò adójútòfò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ọ̀fẹ́ ni o, wọ́n ní yọwọ́ yín o.
Delivering an orientation address, Sanitarian Areo Bukola explained that the statutory responsibility of the workers is to support ministry officials in maintaining a healthy environment, while cautioning them against overzealous conduct in the discharge of their duties. Speaking on behalf of the environmental vanguards, Adedoja Azizat expressed appreciation to the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde for the opportunity and pledged that the workers will carry out their responsibilities diligently. Iroyin Lekun Rere, BCOS News.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has reaffirmed that December 29, 2026 remains the scheduled date for the local government elections across all 33 local government areas in the state. The confirmation was given during a special interview with BCOS reporter Gbemisola Adebayo, where the commission addressed its level of preparedness for the forthcoming polls. Here are the details of the report.
As preparations gather momentum ahead of the local government elections in Oyo State, the Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, says it is leaving no stone unturned to ensure a credible electoral process across all 33 local government areas. The chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission, Dr. Babatunde Adeniyi, in a special interview with BCOS, disclosed that the Commission has stepped up strategic engagements aimed at guaranteeing a smooth, peaceful and transparent exercise. He noted that part of the Commission's preparation includes strengthening collaboration with security agencies, particularly the Nigerian Police Force, and has also held series of stakeholders engagements with the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, in Oyo State. These meetings, he explained, are designed to foster mutual understanding among political parties, encourage compliance with electoral guidelines, and promote peaceful conduct throughout the electioneering period.
The new date for the election is now December 29, 2026. INEC has assured us that when the time comes, the list of registered political parties that we have in Oyo State will be handed over to us together with the voters register. It is what we are given by INEC. They are part of the tools that INEC is going to release to us. Going by the meeting that we had with Inter-Party Advisory Council, which is the umbrella of all political parties in Oyo State, we have like 19 of them presently in Oyo State.
Addressing concerns about voter apathy, the OISEC boss acknowledged that low voter turnout remains a major challenge. He, however, emphasized that the Commission is intensifying voter education and awareness campaigns to encourage citizens to actively participate in the democratic process. Dr. Babatunde Adeniyi further stressed that measures have been introduced to guarantee a level playing field for all political parties, noting that OISEC will operate within the ambit of the law to deliver elections that reflect the will of the people.
Everybody that is concerned with this election, that they are adequately carried along. We ensure that we are going to them, we are talking to them, we are carrying them along, so that we let them realize that this state belongs to all of us. If we get it right, it is for all of us. So we have to come together, we have to work together to ensure that we got it right.
With months to the polls, stakeholders say sustained collaboration, effective voter sensitization, and security preparedness will be key to achieving a free, fair, and widely accepted local government election in Oyo State. Bimsola Adebayo, BCOS News.
As the 2026 planting season begins, farmers across Oyo State and Nigeria as a whole are stepping up preparations for a productive farming cycle. However, rising input costs and unpredictable weather patterns continue to pose major challenges, prompting experts to emphasize proper planning and efficient resource management. Our reporter Folashade Akitola has the details.
With the gradual onset of rainfall, farmlands are springing back to life as farmers commence planting activities across the state. From vegetable growers to root crop farmers, attention is now focused on maximizing yield despite prevailing economy and climate uncertainties. An agricultural expert, Dr. Abdulrafiu Ayola, notes that poor nursery management has resulted in significant seed losses, urging farmers to adopt standard planting techniques, including proper spacing. He also emphasized the importance of integrating modern and traditional farming methods, particularly for small-scale farmers with limited resources.
To ensure that they manage the seed very well, more so that the economy is really not on the side of anybody now. Fund is very limiting, so they need to really be very judicious in managing the seed in the nursery.
Dr. Ayola further explained that crops such as Amaranthus, locally known as Tete, and Celosia, known as Choco, require careful handling due to their tiny seed size, making proper spacing and seed mixing essential. He warned that the rainy season often brings increased risk of crop diseases, especially in crops like okra, advising farmers to properly time their planting to maximize losses. He warned that the rainy season often brings increased risks of crop diseases, especially in crops like okra, advising farmers to properly time their planting to maximize losses.
Farmers need to just be very timely. You need to watch the time. Crops that are not that don't tolerate too much water or that comes with a lot of diseases during high volume rain, they will keep them till you have the rain coming down a bit. But crops that can tolerate high volume rain, they can plant them now. So we encourage farmers to get their materials, their planting materials from a certified source where they can go back and even ask and get backstopping.
Also speaking, a local farmer, Alhaji Sauliu Imam, said many farmers have already begun planting despite uncertainties associated with climate change. He described the current period as crucial for both short-time and long-time crops, urging farmers to take full advantage of available rainfall while ensuring alternative water sources for irrigation when necessary.
This is the time to at least do the actual production, the actual planting, so that whatever you are into, if it's a long-term fruiting crop, you've got to plant for now so that those crops will establish for further growth.
On government support, Alhaji Imam called for improved access to funding, stressing that reliance on limited agricultural interventions may not be sufficient for farmers.
But you that want to take farm or agriculture as your industry, you have to source for. We are doing 1 acre or even few plots in what we call through GAP, that is good agricultural practices. You will be making your money. You'll be doing fine instead of going to thousands of acres that you may not be able to. That is where you can make your money, and we can feed the nation through that.
While acknowledging ongoing government efforts, he maintained that more robust support is needed to boost large-scale agricultural production. As the planting season gathers momentum, stakeholders agree that effective planning, prudent resource management, and improved access to funding will be critical to achieving a successful harvest and enhancing food security in Nigeria. Folashade Akintola, BCOS News.
Believers have been admonished to live impactful and godly lives that will be remembered positively after death. The charge came from Reverend Olushola Ilori of Akubo Baptist Church during a commendation service held in honor of the late Alamodu of Agoamodu, Oba Johnson Olatunde Olaoye Olaiwe II. Delivering the sermon, Reverend Ilori stressed that no one is choices while on earth. Quoting from Psalm 90, verse 12, the cleric emphasized the need for believers to apply wisdom in their daily living, noting that life is not about its length, but impact, describing the late Oba Olatunde Olaoye as a man who lived selflessly in service to God and humanity. Family members, including son of the monarch, Prince Abimbola Olaoye, and wife, Olori Onarewaju Olaoye, in respective tributes, described the late monarch as a loving, caring husband and father whose passing has created a deep void in their lives. In council, including Chief Laolu Olatumosu, as well as members of Agoamodu First Baptist Church, all attesting to his exemplary and impactful life. Present at the commendation service were Commissioner for Trade and Investment, Adeniyi Adebisi, Member of the House of Assembly, Honorable Ruiwan Badamosi, representative of former Minister of Agriculture, Otumba Bamidele Dada, among others. The late Alamodu of Agoamodu passed away on the 31st of March 2026 at the age of 70, having reigned from 19th of September 2020. We now move on to our sports desk.
A warm welcome to you on the sports segment of the news this evening. I am Victor Opene. After bringing an end to his glittering career by hanging up his boots, former Kenya national team midfielder and captain Victor Wanyama has revealed his intentions to one day coach Scottish Premiership outfit Celtic. Wanyama announced his retirement from professional football on the 3rd of April at age 34. He hung up his boots after a 19-year career, citing recurring knee injuries and plans to transition into coaching while completing his UEFA A license. He announced his retirement on X, formerly known as Twitter, expressing pride in his journey from Nairobi to the top levels of European football and concluded a 19-year career, 17 of them professional, with Scottish Championship side Dunfermline Athletic. Wanyama became the first ever Kenyan player to score in the UEFA Champions League when he scored the first goal in Celtic's 2-1 victory over Barcelona in 2012. He has now come out to express his clear ambitions to coach the club, where he made his name after moving to Europe. Phil Foden has reached an agreement in principle over a new 4-year deal at Manchester City. The 25-year-old's current contract was due to expire next summer, but fresh terms will keep him at Etihad Stadium until 2030 with the option of another year. Though the midfielder has struggled for form in recent months and has not scored since 14th of December, a new contract signals a commitment from both parties to continue working together. The midfielder will be hoping to secure a place in Thomas Tuchel's England squad for this summer's World Cup. Last month, the boss Tuchel said Foden's place in the 24-man squad is not guaranteed, despite being the only player to start both games in England's final camp before the tournament. Foden was given his first team debut as a 17-year-old by boss Pep Guardiola and has gone on to make 365 appearances for City, winning 6 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League and 2 FA Cups. And we wrap up with the news that a record number of people have applied to participate in the 2027 London Marathon via the public ballot. In total, 1,338,544 people have applied for the event, which will take place on the 25th of April, breaking last year's record of 1,133,813. The 2026 marathon had a record 59,830 finishers and was the biggest annual one-day fundraising event in the world. The ballot results will be released early in July, with places allocated through a random draw. It is the first time that more than 1 million applications from the UK alone have been submitted, and there was near parity in male and female registrations. And with that, it's a wrap on the sports segment of the news. Thank you very much for joining. I am Victor Pune. Over now to the main desk for the rest of the news.
On the foreign scene, Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered an investigation after an explosion ripped through a fireworks factory in central China and its surrounding area, killing at least 26 people and injuring 61. Foreign desk editor Falashade Akintola compiled the story and others as presented by Bimbo Akambi.
President Xi Jinping's order on Tuesday came a day after the explosion at the Huasheng fireworks plant in Luoyang, a city of 1.5 million in central Hunan province. Xi said those responsible must be held accountable and urged all-out efforts to search for people who are still unaccounted for. The incident occurred at about 4:40 p.m. local time on Monday. The local government dispatched 482 emergency personnel to the scene and evacuated the neighboring area due to the risk of further explosions at the factory's warehouses, state media reported. The scale of the incident is still unknown as rescue efforts continued into Tuesday. The number of missing people is not also known. In the meantime, a coal mine explosion in Colombia's Cundinamarca province killed 9 workers and injured 6, the National Mining Agency said, weeks after issuing risk control recommendations for the site. The blast on Monday at a illegally operated mine in the Sutatausa municipality, 72 kilometers north of the capital, Bogota, was caused by a buildup of gases, the agency said. Colombia is home to numerous open and underground gold and coal mines. Explosions and other incidents frequently occur, mostly at operations that are illegally or do not adopt sufficient safety measures. The blast occurred at a mine operated by the company Carbonera Los Pinos, where the miners were working at least 600 meters, that is about 2,000 feet underground. Local authorities said the company could not immediately be reached for comments. Cundinamarca Governor Giorgio Emilio Rey said on X that the explosion was apparently due to a buildup of gases. The governor had previously said 12 people were trapped and 3 had managed to escape. Rescue workers were on their way to the site, he said, sharing images of ambulances at the mine's entrance. Finally, Afghanistan's Taliban-led government has accused neighboring Pakistan of killing 3 civilians in a cross-border attack which Kabul has condemned as a war crime. The incident on Monday marked the latest test of a fragile ceasefire between the two countries broke out by China in April, following months of cross-border fighting that left hundreds dead and injured. Afghanistan's deputy government spokesman, Amdallah Fitrat, said on X that 14 others were injured in the attack. He accused Islamabad of deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure, including homes, schools, a health center, and mosques in Dangam Kuna province, which lies along the border with Pakistan. Islamabad has dismissed the allegations. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting suggested Kabul may have staged the destruction, saying in a post on X that images released by Afghanistan showed damage inconsistent with artillery strikes. It said the incident could be part of a propaganda effort to discredit Pakistan following cross-border attacks in March and April that killed 9 people, and that Islamabad blamed it on its neighbor. It said the incident could be part of a propaganda effort to discredit Pakistan following cross-border attacks in March and April that killed 9 people, and that Islamabad blamed on its neighbor. Bimbo Akombi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. The House of Representatives on Tuesday condemned the latest wave of xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa, calling on the federal government to take immediate diplomatic and protective measures. Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has reiterated his administration's commitment to prioritizing security as a foundation for governance and economic development. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered an investigation after an explosion